Right now, striker-fired pistols dominate the firearms market, not only in the United States but the entire global chain. Compared to hammer-fired guns like 2011 pistols, these striker-fired handguns are affordable, easy to carry, since they are made with light polymer components, and fairly easy to operate. There's also that argument that their trigger is more consistent and predictable than double-action, single-action, or single-action-only triggers. Let's discuss that later. This time, I want to delve into the whole speculative argument of which is a better investment: a striker-fired handgun or a full-blown, premium-priced 2011 pistol. What's up, everyone? This is your boy Ted from Line 45. In this episode, we are going to break down the key features of both striker-fired and 2011 type guns and see where they diverge and differ. By the end of this video, I hope that I can help you make an informed decision on which to buy or get. But hey, here's a spoiler. It actually doesn't matter what you get. Before we get underway, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I know it is a chore, but these simple clicks help my channel immensely. Now let's return to the video. Okay, this is the part where I might offend some people. But don't get me wrong, I am just doing this to drop hard facts, not opinionated woes about anything. In the past, we only got these hammer-fired pistols, with the Colt 1911 and Browning-made guns being the most popular models. Up to now, there are still no qualms about the quality of these hammer-fired trigger mechanisms. But somewhere along the way, a gun called Glock 17, a polymer-framed striker pistol, was born. This full-size gun has proved its worth despite the contention of various shooters and experts during its conception. The Glock 17 became the first successful striker-fired gun and, eventually, birthed the rise of striker-fired pistols in the market. Now, let's differentiate the two first. After all, 2011 pistols from the likes of Staccato, Atlas, and Wilson Combat use the hammer-fired mechanism. Basically, hammer-fired and striker-fired mechanisms are all about how their firing pin is being driven. In a hammer-fired pistol, a spring-loaded hammer moves forward when the trigger is pulled, striking the firing pin and igniting the cartridge primer. The hammer and spring are typically on the frame, while the firing pin is in the slide. In a nutshell, it's like a hammer driving a nail, if you are into woodworking. That action is also the inspiration for its name. Hammer. Fired. Throughout the evolution of modern guns, the heart or essence of hammer-fired pistols has remained the same. Like really. Even the most popular 2011 guns implement the same design. Though there are some modifications here and there, the design still follows the original. On the other hand, the striker-fired pistol combines its firing pin with a spring-loaded striker inside the slide. Instead of a hammer, the mainspring directly impacts the striker assembly when the trigger is pulled, releasing stored energy and propelling the striker to ignite the cartridge primer. Now, there are distinct nuances between the old and new designs of striker-fired pistols, and it's something you have to know about. In the antiquated designs, the striker is released and regained by a type of sear. On the flip side, newer striker-fired pistols adopted the design used by Glock 17. Basically, their strikers stay just below a full cock position until the sear engages the striker to pull the rest back prior to a discharge. In theory, and in practice, this setup puts a safety net against accidental discharges whenever you drop or haphazardly handle your striker-fired gun. Now that we have clearer differences, we can proceed to the meat of the discussion, which is whether or not a striker-fired or 2011 type pistol is a better investment. I know this sucks, but let me tell you that the comparison between these two will include a lot of general specifications, and some points of comparison may not apply to every model or brand. Well, that's how diverse the gun world has become these days. However, there are still distinct factors that we can observe between the two, and from there we can draw objective conclusions. Now, for the most part, these striker-fired pistols have simple construction, or in simpler terms, they aren't designed to be overly complex or feature tons of moving parts. Again, let's put Glock here as our reference. Glock guns are known to only have 34 or fewer parts, and they tend to exude superb reliability. Let's compare it to your standard 2011 pistol, like Staccato. Most of them have more or less 50 parts. Because of this, disassembly on the part of striker-fired guns is more virtually straightforward than hammer-fired pistols in general. There's also the fact that there is no external hammer in striker-fired guns that removes one entry point for grime, dust, or water to get in. Again, I have to emphasize that many shooters tend to highlight the simplicity of striker-fired pistols in terms of their operation. Notably, the trigger pull and reset of striker-fired guns are relatively short, which in turn allows for quick follow-ups. Given the fact that they don't have external hammers, deployment becomes a lot simpler and faster. Well, this aspect can be subjective, as some will say that they don't have any issues operating hammer-fired guns like 2011 pistols. In fact, these 2011 pistols offer tactile controls, superb handling, and well-balanced architectures that make them extra shootable. Again, this factor is subjective, and it could really depend on which platforms you spent most of your time shooting. But here's one thing that I commonly hear among shooters in various ranges in the United States. After they shot a couple of rounds from 2011 pistols, they immediately decided to sell most of their polymer guns. They need to do this because, first, these 2011 guns aren't cheap. The most affordable ones I know are the Rockisland Armory Tatsi Ultra FS HC series and the Girsan Witness 2311. The rest, like the Staccato and Atlas, are over $2,000. The other reason why some people ditch their polymer guns in lieu of 2011 pistols is because of preference. As I've said earlier, these 2011 guns will really leave an impact on you. Of course, this doesn't mean that you need to sell all your polymer guns. For example, I still keep my P365 and Glock 43X for daily carry, and my Glock 17 remains a trustworthy home defense weapon. On the flip side, double-action, single-action hammer-fired pistols like the 2011s boast superior protection against accidental discharges. The oversized double-action trigger is quite impervious to unintentional discharges, especially when you are holstering or drawing the gun. And external hammers aren't that of a huge disadvantage, especially if you are looking at the right things. With a hammer, there's always the option of manually cocking and decocking the pistol without having to touch its slide. Operators love this feature because it lets them have a hassle-free means of identifying if the gun is cocked or uncocked. This is a feature that hammer-fired 2011 pistols possess and one of their most convincing selling points, especially among law enforcement personnel, competition shooters, and serious EDC folks. Moreover, manufacturers of 2011 pistols have perfected their trigger systems. A lot of shooters love to experience the robustness and heaviness of a double action while simultaneously enjoying the agility and crispness of a single action trigger. Even an entry-level 2011 pistol will give you an exceptional trigger action. Single action triggers are consistent, I suppose, but that doesn't mean that such merit isn't present in hammer-fired pistols, especially if we are talking about these 2011 guns that are often used by competition shooters and military or law enforcement personnel. I do have a precaution, though. There's always a good chance that you will find striker-fired pistols bland after using a 2011 pistol. And it is not just me. Many other people who transitioned from striker-fired guns to 2011 pistols will tell you the same thing. While these double-stack hammer-fired guns are expensive, there's something in their ergonomics, fitting, and performance that would put down polymer pistols into the shadows. Is this a statement that you shouldn't pick a 2011 gun? No, not entirely. All I am saying is that there are distinct differences in the quality of these two platforms, and that in this particular aspect, 2011 guns are objectively better than your standard striker-fired guns. Now, these polymer striker-fired handguns are the king of the market right now for a number of solid reasons. They are relatively affordable, they are effective, and many of them are designed to conquer a number of niches. Striker-fired pistols like the Glock 17 are still present in USPSA competitions, and that alone proves that striker-fired guns are here to stay. My recommendations for striker-fired pistols remain the same throughout the years. They are the Glock 19 and 17, the Smith & Wesson M&P series. Any of those M&P guns are great. The Sig Sauer P365 and P320, and the Walther PDP. These guns may not match the overall quality and performance of 2011 pistols, but they can do the job in a very satisfactory way. They are accurate, reliable, and ergonomic too. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you pick. Each system has its advantages and disadvantages, and we could discuss them endlessly. Ultimately, some operators prefer single action, double action. Some stick to single action only, and others opt for striker-fired pistols. However, all of them handle their chosen firearms proficiently. The skill and proficiency of the operator matter the most here. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more gun videos like this, just click the subscribe button and notification bell. Take care and stay safe.